let's just go with that. First of all, y'all are gonna notice that it's very echoey in here and the background is different. And that's because there's like nothing in here other than my plant. But I tried to go outside to film today and that was not happening. First of all, it's like 95 degrees and 85% humidity because Virginia is a swamp. And also there's like 1,000 mosquitoes and I was literally out for, I'm not even kidding, I'm not even exaggerating, 5 seconds before I started getting bit. So, and I can't. If I get any more mosquito bites on my legs, I'm gonna flip out. So, I was like, I have to do it inside because, oh well, it's too fucking hot. It's humid. My hair won't fucking dry because of it. I washed my hair 3 hours ago and towel dried it and it's still not fucking dry. Yeah, so that's what we're doing today. We're gonna film in this empty room and we're gonna deal with it. Oh, and that weird, like, creaky noise you can probably hear. It's my big ass fan. Because it has like, I don't know, like palm fan blades. It creaks, it does that. I cannot survive in this house without a fan on today. So we're gonna deal with it, you know? Okay, so this is gonna be my recent reads for June and July. If you see me looking down, I do have notes. The way July has been, I'm not gonna care about how, this is all you're gonna get. Appreciate my effort, okay? I got dressed, put on earrings, I tried. But you will see me looking down. You will probably see me sweat here, so it is what it is. I read quite a few books in June, and then less, but still some books in July. So I'm trying to kind of reformat these videos because I'm doing them every 2 months, just based on like how much content I want to fit into a video type of thing, instead of every month. So not all of them will I really talk about like in depth how I felt. I'll just tell you my rating and if I liked it or disliked it, if I had any specific issues. So that's kind of what you can expect here. In June, I read 16 books. I know that sounds like a lot, but a lot of them were graphic novels and manga. So we're just gonna dive right into June. So I started off strong. I read Behind the Scenes. I'll go ahead and put the little picture here as I normally do. So Behind the Scenes, I gave 4 stars. There were things I really liked about this. This is a sapphic contemporary romance. I really liked the characters and their kind of like banter, their energy. I felt that like the trauma representation in this video was actually done pretty well, and I felt like consent was explored in this really well and in a healthy way. Overall, I really like this book. I picked this one up on a whim from the library and I was pleasantly surprised. So the rest of the books I read that month, I can't say the same. Not all of them, at least. Oh my god. Bro, this hair. Oh. I gotta put it up. I have to put my hair up. Okay, it's so wet and like just obnoxious. I did an Olaplex treatment today and like my hair has leave-in conditioner in it right now because that's what I put in it when I get out of the shower, but because it's not drying, it's like slimy a little bit on the back of my neck and I can't fucking deal with that. So alright, going into the next book that I read in June, I read Bad Cree. I was actually really excited to read this one. Unfortunately, I ended up giving it 2 stars. I read about 75% of it and then skim read the last parts of it. Overall, I don't know, man. I was let down. It wasn't scary, like at all. This book deals with like indigenous folklore, skinwalker type stuff. It's like, I guess considered a horror, but it didn't scare me and didn't even really thrill me, to be honest. Like I wasn't in suspense either, so I didn't like this one. I was sad that I didn't like this one. Then I also read Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. Ended up giving it 3 stars. 3 is just okay for me. Like, it was fine. It was good enough. I kind of want to read the sequel, but like, the character it focuses on in the sequel, I'm not the biggest fan of her, but I wonder if I'll like her more after reading it. The one thing I will say about Secretly Yours is the spicy scenes I thought were excellent. I just wasn't a big fan of like the whole like secret admirer letter thing. June, what are you getting into? Stop. Sorry, there's like cars, I guess, going across my... Yeah, it's weird. Okay, anyways, distracted. Yeah, there was just certain things in it that I wasn't the biggest fan of, but otherwise I really did like the chemistry between the characters, and yeah, I'm trying to think. It's been a while. I read that like the very beginning of June, so... Okay, so then I read Colorless, which is a manga. I read the first volume. I gave it 3 stars. I honestly don't know if I'm going to continue this one. It's okay. I just wasn't as invested as I thought I would. The one thing about this one I will say is really cool is the format in which it's illustrated. Because it takes place in this world where like some apocalyptic event happened and color disappeared from the world, so it's all like normal, you know, manga, black and gray. And then when there's indications of color existing, they've like splashed color in, which I think is really cool. Like the way they drew it, and I just think that's really neat. The premise is really cool in this one too, but I didn't feel as invested as I thought I would, and I have a lot of other things I want to read, so I don't know if I'm going to pick the next one up. Then the next thing I read was Atalanta, and sorry if you see the light changing, because it just is. It's overcast today because we're probably going to get thunderstorms because it's so fucking hot. Anyways, I read Atalanta. I think I'm saying that right. And I gave it 2 stars. I initially really liked this. I think like the first 25% of it, I was really into it. Because I like Artemis, and it kind of had like almost Princess Mononoke vibes to it, like that feral person in the woods kind of vibes. I don't know. I had no expectations going into this one, and it just kind of fizzled out for me. Pretty much once she leaves the forest, I was like, I'm no longer interested. So I just wasn't that big of a fan of it. So for that reason, I gave it 2 stars. And I think I've decided I'm probably not going to read any more retellings by this author, because I know she has like Ariadne and maybe one other. I don't remember, but I never read Ariadne after Atalanta let me down. I was like, forget it. Then I also read some more manga. So I read The Dragon's Betrothed #2. I gave this one 5 stars. This is a BL. I am obsessed. I really hope this one doesn't go on like for like 3 or 4 issues and then get canceled. But I'm really liking this one. Yeah, so it's a BL where like the main characters, one's a dragon that transforms into a human, and there's like a whole curse thing element to it. Yeah, I really like this. I like the characters. I don't know what else to say. It's kind of interesting, but I think it's hilarious, and I love this manga. Then I read A Week to Be Wicked. I gave it 5 stars. Let me think. Oh yeah, I really like this one. I really like the characters. So this is the second Spindle Cove book. And once again, I devoured this book. Read it very quickly, 5 stars. I am taking a break from the historical romance right now because I'm just feeling a little burned out on it, to be honest. I had the next Spindle Cove book taken out from the library, but I ended up like renewing it and then renewing it and renewing it until I was like, I just need to return this because I'm not going to get to it. At least not right now. Then I read The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. I gave it 4 stars. Now that I think about it, I might have given it like a 3, maybe a 3.5. It was just okay. I definitely liked the first book more. This one took so long for the characters to make up, and it was kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, like more than half the book before they reconcile and like stop hating each other, and it got old. There were some things that happened in this one that were kind of intense and like, Jesus fucking Christ, but yeah, I wrote 4, and I think that's what my Goodreads review was 4, but I'd probably say like a 3 or 3.5 now that I'm a little bit more removed from it, because I tend to rate things like right after I finish them. So then I did actually finish The Last Word by Taylor Adams. Yeah, Taylor Adams, and I gave it 4 stars. I don't know, it could be like a 4.5. I don't know if it was a 5-star, because there were certain things about it, but overall I think this is like the best book I probably read in June. This one somehow ended up being both thrilling and hilarious, and almost is like meta humor, like certain tropes that are made fun of in the book are made fun of through the book, and I guess the main, I don't want to ruin anything for anybody, but like the main antagonist is like, oh my god, can he be any more of a cliche? But that was kind of the point. Yeah, anyways, there were parts where I was reading this where like I read this in like the span of 2 days once I finally got really into it, and I would be like laying on the couch telling my husband about it, and I would like put the book down and go, oh my god, guess what? Like once we got to the point where like we figured out what weapon this man was using, I can't. And then there was just if you want this, I think this was, I don't know, I still really like No Exit. I feel like in terms of thriller aspects, like that one was much more suspenseful. This one had moments of that, but this one was just like, it blew my mind. This is probably gonna be one of the best books I read this year, and I picked up I picked up Hairpin Bridge, which is one of his older books that apparently people don't like it very much, but we'll see. Because not everybody liked The Last Word either. You should read some of the reviews. Then I did read E. McCoy #1, gave it 4 stars. I still need to read the second one. I do own it. I just haven't gotten to it. And so far this is it's just really good. It's really entertaining. It's a fast read, and I don't know, I like it. I think it's cute, and we're gonna keep going. I did read Awaken, which is a graphic novel. I read the first volume, and I gave it 4 stars as well. This one I think I read all in one sitting. Can't remember, but it was pretty good. I think it's based off a web novel, and I do want to read the next one, so that's all I really have to say about that one. So if I want to read the next one, it's probably pretty decent in my opinion. Then I did read the next installment for me, at least, the Fae Princes by Nikki St. Croix, and I gave it 3 stars. I don't know, man. This one, I just didn't. I don't like the princes as much as the other characters, to be honest with you, because they just kind of annoy me. So maybe that was it, but just wasn't. I wasn't the biggest fan of this one. Then I did read Bloody Sweet, which is another manga. I guess maybe manhwa or French, I'm not sure. It's a graphic novel. I read the first volume. I gave it 3 stars. I do want to continue this one though, because I have a feeling it's going to get better. But this was just okay. This is like a vampire, basically this vampire is like living with this girl who doesn't have friends, and she's kind of isolated and alone, and she's a shaman's daughter, so there's some elements of like the supernatural that kind of attract to her, and they're kind of like friends, but also like he is kind of like indebted to her, so kind of like a, yeah, like a servant role type thing. I don't want to say like master slave, but that's kind of the vibe you're gonna get. Then I have 3 more to go over for June. So I did read Love on the Brain. I gave this one 2 stars. This one just wasn't it for me. It just wasn't it for me. I liked the first one. The second one, rinse and repeat, bitch. And like, because of this, I was gonna read Love theoretically. I had it like on my hold list at the library so that when we bought it, I would get it. And I took it off. Like right after I finished Love on the Brain, I was like, no, we're not reading that one, because it's literally gonna be the same exact shit as the other 2 books, just with different-ish characters. I mean, really, the characters are much the same. Grumpy Sunshine, STEM, which is annoying. I don't know, just get a new trope. And my battery's about to die. I did read Barbarian Alien. I gave it 4 stars. I am excited to read the next one. This is the second or third? Oh, Jesus. In the series, and I did like this one quite a bit. So, yep, not surprised. I like Ruby Dixon. And then last but not least, in June, I did read Lore Olympus number 4. That's the big bind-up volume. I gave it 5 stars. I feel like that's pretty fucking obvious at this point. All right, anyway, so getting into July, I started off pretty strong. I read Twisted Love by Anna Huang. I gave it 4 stars. I am very excited to read the next ones because apparently, like, a lot of people didn't like the first one, but really liked the other ones, and I really liked that one, so I'm hoping I'll like the next ones. Then I also, on audiobook, I listened to Cultish. I gave this 4 stars. Nonfiction's a little hard for me to rate, but I've been trying to read more of it. Well, I listened to it on audiobook, but still, same thing. I've been trying to read more of it on my commute because it helps with my road rage. And yeah. But so far, that's like the only one I've been able to get through. And it goes through the, like, it talks about cults and, like, the language they use and stuff like that, and how that, like, plays a role in them, like, indoctrinating people. But then it also talks about things that are cultish, that aren't quite cults, but use the same type of thing to kind of, like, keep members in, so to speak. So, like, it talks about MLMs, and now I'm, like, obsessed about, like, reading and learning about the weird shit that happens with MLMs. Then I did read Feed Them Silence, and I gave it 2 stars, and this is probably going to be one of the most disappointing reads. I was so excited for this book because the premise sounds really cool, but it just didn't deliver. It's very short. I was surprised by how short it is, first of all. It's basically a novella. And it didn't deliver. The main character is just insufferable, in my opinion. And it mostly focuses on her divorce from her wife. And how she doesn't seem to think she's at fault. And how she doesn't feel like she belongs with humans and wants to be one of the wolves. And, like, maybe it's just because of my ex, but I was like, no, I'm not into this. This, like, arrogant, I didn't like the main character. If you couldn't tell, very arrogant, very unself-aware, but overall depressed and, like, wants to blame everybody else for their problems. So, wasn't a fan. I probably could have rated this one lower, honestly. And I also read Villains Are Destined to Die. I read the first, second, and third volumes. First one I gave 4 stars. Second and third I gave 5. I am so hyped to continue reading this one. I heard about this originally from Ashley at Bookish Realm. Picked it up at the library. We had all three. They had just come in. We had just bought them and like binge read them, and I'm obsessed. I wasn't sure I was gonna like this because I'm not always like the biggest fan of isekai, but this is like isekai meets deadly dating simulator game. So it's interesting and I really like it. Then I did get Toilet Bound Hanako number 18, and I read that. Obviously I gave it 5 stars, and we finally got a pinnacle moment in this volume between Hanako and the fuck is her name? The 2 main characters? Whatever. Yeah, so I love this one, obviously, and I love them all. So it's hard for me to rate because I'm just like, I'm probably gonna give it 5 stars even if it's kind of garbage. Then I did read The Alchemist of Loom by Elise Kova because it's been on my TBR for like the longest fucking time. And I wasn't sure I was gonna like it because it's an older YA fantasy by her, but I ended up really liking it. I gave it 4 stars. And I'm pretty hyped to read the rest of the books. Like, I want to read them sooner rather than later. Yeah. Then I did read The Isles of the Gods. I gave it 2 stars. I was also very disappointed by this one because I got like 50 to 60% of the way through before I DNF'd, because the plot moves. The plot doesn't really even move. It's the fucking trash truck. I don't know why it always sets my ring off. Anyways, yeah, so the plot, like, literally a snail's pace could not even describe how fucking slow this thing moves, in my opinion. And, like, something really intense happened, and then it just goes right back into being, like, slow. And I didn't even really like all of the characters all that much, so yeah, anyways, I was disappointed by that one, but should I be shocked? No. Then I did read The Ancient Magus Bride number 4, and I gave it 5 stars, and I have 5 and 6 out from the library, so I'm going to try to read those soon, like really soon. But as I'm filming this, Saturday, this is a Thursday, Saturday this week is the like end of the month. So I probably won't finish them until August, like the very beginning of August. And if I do before, I'll just include them in the next one. And last but not least, in July, I have read Tokyo Revengers number 1. Gave it 3 stars. I'm not super into it. I've been getting the like omnibus bind-ups from the library, so the one I have has 1 and 2, and I don't know if I'm gonna read number 2. Like, I might just return it and be like, it's not for me. I actually am really interested in the plot, but for some reason I'm just like not, maybe I'm just not in the mood for it. I don't know. I just haven't been picking it up, and I don't know. I just, every time I pick it up, I like want to speed read it, so it could be the pacing, but it's just not for me right now. Anyways, those are all the books that I read for June and July. Look forward to, at the end of September, I'm going to be doing August and September, so that's pretty much how I'm going to be doing these. And thank you guys, as always, for watching, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Try to subscribe. Remember to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me, and yeah, thank you for being here. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.